What a game and what potential drama we have in store. You've seen this script before. Top 10 team goes into a cauldron of emotion on the road and just hopes to be able to get out and tell about it. As we'll see the number 2 team in the country, the Oregon Ducks, taking on the 19th ranked team in the land, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. For EA Sports College Football, Reese Davis with you alongside David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. And guys, can't wait to get this one started. That's some way to start this game. They're lining up for an onside kick. Looks as if the hands team will be able to recover the ball. The Cornhuskers offense will get the first crack at it here. And there he is. When you build a tight end, you build one just like this, especially with those reliable mitts, Jesse.
Yeah, Reese, he makes big plays in big games. Watch for him on third down in the red zone. He has a chance to leave an impact in this game.
Well, it's so nice to have such a big body that when he's covered, he's open, right? Like, it doesn't matter because he's got great hands and that big frame he can really utilize.
Off-play action on first down. Wasting no time taking a shot. Makes the catch down the right side. Touchdown, Nebraska! Made the snag and strolled his way into the end zone.
That is how you get your playmaking wide receiver in the game early. First series, they scripted this. They want to get him the football. They get him the football, and he does the rest. Gets the big touchdown in the opening drive of the game.
And the extra point splits the uprights. The officials offer the deal, and the coach accepts it. They will take the penalty. The kickoff team out there to boot it away and 15 yards farther up the field after the roughing the kicker penalty. This will not be returnable as it sails out of the back of the end zone. So Oregon's offense will get the ball for the first time. And how about this matchup of a couple of guys who just don't get tired and don't mind being handed the football, Jesse?
And I love this matchup, too, because in modern football, it's all about throwing the ball and spread and tempo and air raid offenses. Let's go back to toting the rock, old school, two of the best running backs in the business here.
And the defenses now, like, they know the challenge. They know these guys are going to tote it. They got to be physical, committing guys to the box, not letting these running backs have success today.
He's going to pass on second down. A little release to the back. He gets those chains moving, gets it out to the 42-yard line. It's not just the dual threat guy. You go back to Dan Fouts or Bill Musgrave or even Justin Herbert, and passers not in short supply for the Ducks.
And when you think about the Ducks, you always think about the fancy uniforms. I think that's one of the first things that come to mind, but the guys you just named, it's been built on flash, but it's also been built on substance. Great players in their tradition, in their history, and just like now, just in the recent history, Bo Nix, another one of those guys that's put up big numbers.
Coming after him. Complete to the right. Finally run out of bounds, but he has this offense rolling with a first down.
And I love the awareness by the wide receiver on that play because I'm not sure that route was supposed to be that deep. You got to wonder if the receiver decided maybe to adjust the route a little bit to make sure that he got the first down.
What a great job they've done in Big Ten play up to this point, and you see them now feeling as if they can accomplish something big.
No doubt, Reese, and I think it's a great start to the season. Like, again, you have goals and you have midpoints to the season where you're at right now. This is where you wanted to be. You wanted to be in the mix in one of the best conferences in all of college football. And, Jesse, they're doing that in the Big Ten.
Yeah, they've been able to handle the stage and handle the pressure with every win. That makes the next game that much bigger. And they've shown up on big stages on national television, and they've been able to deliver. This game, though, is the biggest yet. If they keep on the pace they're at, they're going to be playing for a Big Ten championship. Well, that receiver's looking at his teammates like, guys, what's up? You're not going to block for me on the screen? Seriously? No, I just lost yards on a screenplay. How does that happen?
Got some room, headed to the goal line, and he rolls into the house. Touchdown, Ducks! And he makes the extra point. They put together a 74-yard touchdown drive, and it was capped off with an impressive 18-yard touchdown run. He'll start the return inside his 5. And good work by the coverage team to get the return man down on the ground. The Cornhuskers ready to go back to work on offense. And David, how they would love to stick it in the end zone one more time after that last drive.
And once you get the defense on their heels and you back them off a little bit, you get in a little bit of rhythm, it's really hard to stop, Jesse, and they're going to try to do it again right here.
And if you're this play caller, you're loving it.
Snags it down the right side. The expressway is wide open. And he ran away from the crowd, and he'll take it in. Touchdown, Cornhuskers!
And I think in the pre-snap, I think both of these guys were on the same page. They had a look defensively that let them know we can pitch this thing way down the field. I'm going to go run under it and make a big play.
Yeah, and when I'm the receiver, I'm like, I'm open, right? I'm going straight down the field. Throw me the football. I got the speed. I can beat this guy. You can tell they've done that so much in practice. They knew it was second nature, and they executed it perfectly.
And the PAT gives them a 14-7 lead. If only it were always this easy for the offensive coordinators. One play, big chunk yardage, put points on the board just like that. And he's going to try to return this one. He stopped there, but a good return coming out of his own end zone gets it to the 28. The Ducks ready to go back to work on offense. Boy, David, they would love to stack another touchdown on top of that last drive.
And this offense did such a good job on the last drive. Everything in rhythm, moved the ball down the field, didn't make those mistakes, Jesse, and they need to do it again on this one.
Yeah, you're right. They had the defense on their heels. You wonder what sort of communication was going on that sideline. What sort of changes were they able to make, because they got to stop the bleeding right now.
Gets it to the 46-yard line. First down for this offense. The Ducks trying to win the day by running for another first down.
Run the football. It's always been the staple. We can go back as far as you want with Oregon teams. The ones that were good, they were built on the running of the football, the physicalness. Run the ball, baby.
And a really short game before he gets a whole bunch of company from the defense.
You know what I really like about games like this at this point in the season? You find out who you are. You find out whether you're going to stay in the race.
And who can step up and handle the challenge, right? This is easily one of the toughest games.
And he holds it in at the 25. And they explode on that one, and they've got it down to the 22.
And in this offense, you know, as a quarterback, you're going to get opportunities to put up some pretty big numbers. You've been impressed watching this guy play early this year. With that last pass completion, he's now already over 2,000 yards on the season.
Pressure coming. And he was hit just as he was releasing the pass, and it falls to the ground incomplete.
Oftentimes, defenses see empty sets, and that's when they want to dial up pressure, knowing there's no extra bodies back there to protect the quarterback. They were able to get to him on that one, and that's why the ball was incomplete.
He's run out of bounds, but not before turning in a big pickup and moving the sticks for a first down. The Ducks come to the line with a new set of downs. He'll ride his man on the option. And the ball is free on the pitch. How about that alert play from the defense to corral that fumble? He's loose down the left side. Inside the 30. They finally make the stop, and not only the huge turnover, but the big return has them set up in business. And here comes the Nebraska offense back onto the field. They torched this defense with an explosive passing play for a score last time out. Let's see if they go right back at him. And I think they'll give him 2 on that one, 2nd and 8 coming up. This is the kind of game, a top 25 matchup in the early season, that you look for when you're trying to build your resume.
Yeah, these are so fun because as a player, you kind of get bored if you don't get challenged. But when you got an early season challenge like this.
And you'll race it to the house. Touchdown, Huskers! Well, just as you would expect, that didn't take very long.
It didn't, Reese, and you've got to make great field position count. When you've got opportunities, you got to pay it off. And the offense took advantage, scoring a touchdown. Didn't have far to go, but they got the points they needed.
Lining up to cover the kick after that touchdown drive. And no chance at a return here. They'll start this drive at their own 25. And Oregon has it back, and here comes the offense. Ball security going to be paramount this time, Jesse.
Yeah, and sense of urgency, too. They're trailing in this game right now. The turnover wasn't great, so, David, they really got to be able to put something positive together on this drive.
Put something positive together, be aggressive, but don't be reckless. Can't have any more of those turnovers.
After the 3-yard pickup, they come to the line, 2nd and 7. Try to get the edge with a quick touch pass. Dances away from the D. All kinds of running room. He's at the 30. He's at the 10. Touchdown, Oregon! And once he found daylight, it was Katie bar the door, baby. You know they love their track at Oregon. And when the gun goes off and he hits open field, he is headed to the tape, and he was burning by the time he hit the end zone.
And they've had guys year after year with serious track speed. They'll get you the small runs, lull you to sleep, and then boom, they make those big plays because they got big-time playmakers with speed at running back.
He'll bring it back from inside his 5. And the return man is stopped, and that'll leave it up to the offense on the next drive. And now the offense will come onto the field again. The way this game started, you feel as if you have to score a touchdown every time you have it, and now we'll see if they can respond.
Yeah, and I wonder how much pressure that puts on the offense. Jesse, like, you know this is back and forth.
And the pressure gets him back at the 8-yard line.
Yeah, that's a great job. And listen, this quarterback's had success. He's already thrown for 2 touchdowns. We got to make him feel uncomfortable. This is still early in the game. Nice job by the defense, getting a hit on the quarterback and making him think a little bit.
He's dropped behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of 3.
You know when you're playing against a defense of this caliber, you're going to have some sort of balance, right? You can't just drop back and throw it every single play. Nothing going on that last run. They're going to have to find another way to get it going, handing the ball
to the ground with the back. And Shore tackling there to keep him from getting to the first down marker. The Huskers will call on their punt team. 3 and out, they got stuck in reverse. They hope the punt can bail them out. First one of the day is off. He was called on 3 times in that victory last week. And the returner runs out of real estate as he goes down. The Ducks ready to go back to work on offense. That last drive really productive. David wound up with a touchdown. They'll try to do it again.
Yeah, so I don't expect this offense to change too much, Reese. They had a great drive. They got the touchdown. Everything working. I would expect them to keep pushing.
Hit the afterburners, kid. A huge gain on that one before he ran out of bounds, and he has the first down.
Defense is going to have their hands full trying to stop this guy. They better rally to the football and get multiple hats because he is not easy to bring down.
That big play has this defense reeling, and now they'll snap it 1st and 10 from the 14. On the option. They pick up half of it. It'll be 2nd and 5.
Yeah, and it's so hard to contain this guy with all those options he has and the experience at the quarterback spot. But nice job by the defense limiting the damage. Didn't give up a huge game.
Out of the gun, the running back has it. He pushes his way down to the 4 as they get closer and closer. As they get set to snap it, time winding down here in the quarter. They'll stick to the ground looking for the marker. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the field. Let's see which way that's going to go. Just an obvious holding call there, and one that just kills an offense's momentum. We have the early makings of a quarterback duel, as these stats will show you. They've swapped into the field, and we're ready to go in the second. They've changed ends of the field, now facing 3rd down as they go back to work. Release to the back. And a missed opportunity on third down as the defense knocks it free, and fourth down is coming up.
And the offense got themselves in a tough situation. Third and long, so hard to execute, especially when the field starts to shrink. But the good news is they got a field goal in their back pocket.
Fourth down, and this crowd is making it miserable on this offense. Finds his big tight end. He's not going to get there. Stops short on fourth down.
Man, aggressive play calls. Everybody wants you to be aggressive. They're aggressive. They take their shot. And now they got to live with a little bit of the consequences. They turn the football over on downs. Now their defense has to go out on the field and make some stops.
After the 9-yard pickup on first down, here's 2nd and 1. Handoff to the lone back. And the Huskers pick up the first down.
That's a great-looking run there. Nebraska has had such a great lineage at running back. When you think back to the great Roger Craig or Amon Green, Lawrence Phillips, or Rex Burkhead, they always seem to be pumping somebody up into the NFL. This guy has a chance to play on Sunday because of his skills.
A strong tackle and wrap-up from the junior.
It's so hard because when they run jet sweeps, they don't always give them the football, and then you got to worry about other stuff. But great job focusing on your keys, seeing the jet sweep, pulling the trigger, going and getting the speedster on the ground.
Wide out in motion. Quick touch pass to the receiver. Good vision and determination there to find his way up to the 23. So what do they have for third and short from their own 23? From the gun, wants to pass. Gonna take a shot. And they wanted it all on third down, but now dealing with fourth down. The Cornhuskers will punt this one away. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away. And they'll haul down the returner to start us on the next drive. And Oregon has it back, and here comes the offense. Opening play of this drive comes from the 34. They're looking for an advantage to the right. At the 45 on its way. And he breaks into the just destroying his way through the field. Touchdown Ducks! And they take it in for 6 more points.
This offense is so good. Man, they can hurt you in so many different ways, and they do it so quick, so explosive. They can put small drives together, big drives together. They've really had a great year, and that's why they're a top 10 offense.
PAT unit on the field. Splits those uprights right in half. What a way to send a message. Huge play in the running game. One snap and you've got a touchdown on the board. After that latest answer tied things up, just about set to kick it away again. The Cornhuskers ready to go back to work on offense. That last drive won't go on the highlight reel after ending in a punt. They'd like to be more productive this time, David.
And I think this offense has to be a little bit more balanced. Find a little balance between the run, Jesse, and working in that pass.
And I think, too, David, it's just going to take a spark. It just takes one play to get this thing picked up and going.
Halfway there on first down, it's 2nd and 5. He's looking to throw. Unloads to the right. That pass is incomplete.
It is very tough when you're a secondary player to cover guys for long periods of time. Great job by the secondary, taking away all the options, even when the pass rush didn't get home.
Got it in the middle, it's Nelson. A quick tackle made, but he's got plenty for the first down. The Huskers come to the line with a fresh set of downs. Looking for a physical attack from the gun. He's dropped behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of 3. Last play was a near disaster. Now dealing with 2nd and 13. Out of the gun, the inside give. Still on his feet at the 45. They'll get him down, but not before he crosses the 50. He's down to the 49. This Husker running attack will hit you from all angles. You never know who's going to get it next.
Yeah, it's kind of like playing that hat game on the stadium jumbotron. Like, where's the ball underneath which hat that's going to move around? Always a lot of deception with this Cornhusker offense.
They're down to the 35 on 1st and 10. He wants to throw. Ball into the end zone, and it's intercepted. And they'll drag him down after a good return on the interception. Really nice focus by this sophomore, and he jumped on his chance to make a play.
It's so easy to be up here in the booth and say, you should have put more zip on that. Sometimes you got to use the lob wedge. That time, you probably should have used the drive.
The give to the back. He'll bounce his way ahead for a pickup of 4 out to the 14.
Well, this offense came into the game knowing they wanted to be physical. They wanted to establish the line of scrimmage, and they're running downhill right at this defense, and they're churning out positive yardage early.
Got his man quickly. Throw and catch there. Big pickup, and they have a first down. The Ducks keeping this defense off balance. They can hit them from a variety of angles, this time going up top.
So many things to look at. You know, they've always traditionally gone fast as well in the past at Oregon, but, you know, the quarterback run and the run up the middle and then play-action pass, they keep you guessing a lot, and they make a lot of plays down the field because your eyes are focused on something they shouldn't be focused on.
He wants to pass it on 2nd down. And the pass rush is effective, and they tackle him at the 19.
And how about the defense getting home with the pass rush? Playing man coverage in the back end. You need to win up front. Those guys got to get to the quarterback. Do a great job rushing the passer. I can play man when I got a pass rush like that.
Might be looking to run. He'll turn it loose out to the right. He throws back across his body, and it's picked off. And they'll close in on him after a good return on the interception. And here comes the Nebraska offense back onto the field. That last drive was promising for a while, but you just can't mess it up at the end with the pick, Jesse.
No, you got to be able to finish drives, especially in this game if you're going to win. And, David, they've got to be able to eliminate the mental mistakes.
Yeah, and I don't think you get conservative or play it safe. You can trust your guy. I think you put the ball right back in his hands and let him do his thing.
Looking to go up top on 1st down. He's got his man. He's brought down, solid pickup, but a little bit short of the 1st down. Operating in the red zone here on 2nd down. He's looking to throw. This time they were able to keep him in check and stop him short of that 1st down. Really need to pick up this conversion and avoid having to settle for the field goal. Corners showing press. They want to be physical here. Fires into the end zone. And it's caught. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Really nice job working the route, getting himself open. He was able to locate the football, snag it out of the air, and this guy now has 5 receiving touchdowns on the year.
And he tacks on the extra point. Almost ready to kick it away after scoring the touchdown. From inside his own 10, he'll try to help out their field position. He was looking for more running room, but none to be found as he stopped at the 23. The Ducks ready to go back to work on offense. Mistakes are going to happen, as they did on that last drive. Now, how will they respond, Jesse?
And this is the kind of guy who's going to take full accountability. That was my bad. That's on me. I'm about to lead this offense now down the field and score some points.
Dang, Palmer, I wish I would have played with you. I didn't play with many quarterbacks that were just like, yeah, My bad. Hey, guys, I got this. Sorry about that. It was more, we should have ran a better route.
They'll go to work on second down after doing damage on the ground. He's got it. Gets it out to the 38-yard line after picking up 10 on that one. That was a nice pickup, running the drag route and finding that quiet, soft spot in the zone.
Yeah, drag routes not only work against man coverage, they work against zone too. If you can find the soft spot and the quarterback gets it to him early, he can turn upfield, and you saw that right there.
Touch pass on the run. A confident, tough, efficient run gets it up to the 44. There's a timeout called as this offense tries to find a way to draw a little closer. Second down coming up. He's looking to throw. Just a short pass to the tight end. He's run out of bounds, but he's got enough to move the sticks.
They pick up the first down on the drag route. And I know that seems like a simple route, but it's actually a lot more complex than what it looks like, because that route changes based on whether it's man or zone. If it's man coverage, he's flying across the field. If it's zone, he's got to sit down over the ball in a soft spot, giving his quarterback a place to go with it. Nice job of those guys being on the same page there.
He will step out of bounds, but not before the big pickup and a first down for this offense. The Ducks come to the line with a new set of downs.
Well, this offense has come out slinging the pill. They are throwing it. They are trying to be aggressive. We're only in the second quarter, guys.
Pass rush coming after the quarterback, and they get him at the 32. We got a timeout here late in the first half, and they'll try to get more points on the board before the break. Just a few seconds remaining here as they try to put something up before halftime. Dialing up a second down pass play. Pass is incomplete. The clock is down to 9.
Well, the defense is fast. If you can hit that quarterback with his speed and force those incompletions, man, that is impressive.
On third and long, you'll need to push it downfield. Pass falls incomplete, and there are still 3 seconds left. And as the clock is winding down here in the first half, they'll send out the field goal team. And they weren't able to get him in the middle of the field, so now a 49-yarder from the right hash.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense.
Might be the worst-case scenario for this defense. Thought they'd held them to 3. Now the offense with a chance for more. Splits the uprights. Good. And the field goal to end the half takes us to halftime. We played 2 quarters here. Time to go to Kevin Connors in our halftime update. Looks as if we're set to crank it up here in the second half. Here he comes from inside his own 5. He was looking for more running room, but none to be found as he stopped at the 23. And Oregon has it back, and here comes the offense. I imagine we'll see them go right back to work up top after how productive that passing game was in the first half.
And it's interesting. If I'm the defense and I've got the lead, they've had success throwing the football, but we're winning. I don't know that this defense changes too much of what they've done in the first half.
I think they got to do a better job with pass rush. They might want to change their coverages as well, because they're probably at this point expecting this offense to have to keep throwing, considering they did have success in the first half.
And they'll finally get him down after a terrific pickup.
I want to talk about a monster performance. This guy now has 150 yards rushing. The defense has had no answer for this guy, and he's showing you why he is such a weapon in this offense. Speed, the ability to catch the ball, the vision, the quickness. He's got all the tools in the toolbox.
Got 3 on first down. It's 2nd and 7. He's looking to throw. Makes the grab over the middle. And a good job in coverage there as they stop it after just a few.
And a really nice job by the wide receiver. You run a drag route, find space. They're in zone coverage. They're not covering man-to-man. Find a little hole. Look at that QB. Y'all get on the same page. You could tell they were, and that's why they got the first down.
There to make the stop, but he is a weapon out of the backfield in the short passing game, and they've got a first down. And the Ducks are marching down the field. It'll be a draw. and he finds some solid space, makes a nice game before the defense is able to stop him.
You want to talk about making it easy for an offensive coordinator. You pick up a bunch of yards on first down, make that second down really, really manageable. That's a great job by the offense.
The defense wouldn't let him loose there, and it was a completion, but they lost yardage.
Got to give the defense credit. Watching film, anticipating. They knew that this offense had this play in their back pocket. They knew about the speed of this wide receiver and different ways they were going to try to get him involved. Everybody on defense on the same page, playing together. I loved it.
Quick completion on the out. He steps out of bounds, but it will be enough for a first down. We asked earlier this week, who's your favorite receiver? And, of course, he said the open one, but we know who he really wants to go to on third down.
The best one. I mean, I think the open one, obviously the politically correct answer, but you want to find the guy that you got that great chemistry with. You know exactly where he's going to be. You got that bond and that trust.
They'll snap it from the 25 here on first down. And he does a really nice job finding open space and making a good gain before the stop is made.
Keep pounding away at this defense and make them play the run. If you can get this many a chunk, they're going to have to commit more guys to the box, more guys to the run. Then you open it up for the passing game.
Touchdown, Oregon! And that one will put them up here in the second half. And the extra point puts them up by a field goal. 76 yards on the drive for the touchdown. And the finisher, an 18-yard touchdown throw. The kickoff team out there getting set. The Cornhuskers ready to go back to work on offense. After standing on the sideline and watching that long touchdown drive, they really need to put something to... And this sophomore able to wreak some havoc and get the sack.
And this is a defense that I think is really feeling themselves right now, especially after some of the good things they did in that first half. Getting a sack right away in the opening play of the third quarter.
And the defense gets loose, bringing the heat, and down he goes again. You make up the game plan and not a lot on the play sheet for this. Third and long from inside their own 20. Caught over the middle. It's Hall. And he's not going to get there. The defense stands tall and makes the stop. And the Huskers decide to punt it away. 3 and out and not much choice but to get rid of the ball. Now a fair catch is called for and made just shy of midfield. The Ducks ready to go back to work on offense. David, they'd love to do what they did last time and put this one in the end zone.
You ain't lying. They did a great job. The offense was clicking. Everything went well. Palmer, they executed and got the touchdown.
And they really were in a nice rhythm as well. And I'd love to see that here on the next drive, too. Just keep doing what you're doing. Everything seems to be working, and you seem to have this defense on their heels.
So he just lost track of where the line of scrimmage was. The illegal forward pass will wave off the play. Penalty will be accepted. Here comes the offense on second down. Leaves it with the back. Corralled and brought down by the defense.
And I love this because you got second and really, really long. And what's the idea of the offensive coordinator? Get third and manageable. Nice job getting the run. Not only a positive run, shoot, you almost got the first down. Now you're set up for good success on third down.
Working their way closer and closer. A third down conversion, and they've got it at the 26. Going up top on first down. He just throws it away, and I think the flag's going to be coming in. There it is. So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. And here comes the offense on second down. He's looking to throw. Deep shot for the end zone. Had it in his hands for the score and let it fall to the turf. It'll be third down.
Oh, the offense just not able to come up with that. You knew that was going to be a bang-bang play, right? They're taking a shot into the end zone. That's going to have to meet a contested catch on the back end. but he wasn't able to come up with it because of the hit.
On 3rd and long, he'll need to loosen up that arm. And that one's incomplete. They weren't just trying to move the chains. They were trying to move the scoreboard. Instead, it's 4th down. He'll try to throw and pick up the 1st down. Here he goes breaking the pocket. And it's incomplete and the defense holds.
You know, offensively in that situation, 4th down, you're throwing for it. Everything has to go right, or someone just needs to be able to make a play to keep the drive alive. They couldn't get it done, and now the offense is coming off the field.
Hit hard just as he released it on 1st down and just couldn't get it to the receiver.
Man, the defense smells blood in the water. You can tell. They are getting to this quarterback over and over and over. They've already sacked him a couple times. They're just winning out front. They almost got another sack on that last play.
He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple.
And yeah, that's kind of surprising. And we talked about this before the game. One of the big matchups. Run the football against a defense that's been susceptible against the run throughout the season. But this offense just can't find.
And here's a fumble way behind the line. Defense just cradling that fumble and securing it. And he's brought down, and this defense gets the ball back for its own.
And that is exactly how you draw it up. You get to the quarterback, but you get the football out. You hit him, you try to rake it out. Great job by the defense, getting the sack, getting the fumble.
And Oregon has it back, and here comes the offense. That last drive was promising at times, but stalled out, and they turned it over on downs, Jesse.
I think they got to do a better job here, just being better early in the downs. On 1st down, finding positive plays.
Yeah, and it's frustrating when you move the football and get stopped on the other side of the field and get no points. But they've had some success, and I like the aggressiveness. They just got to cash some of these drives in.
Give to the running back. Got some room headed to the goal line. Touchdown, Ducks! And they add 6 more to the board with that trip to the house. The offense strikes again to extend its lead here in the 2nd half.
And they got everything working. How great is this? You extend your lead, now you get your defense back on the field. Great job taking advantage of the situation and building on that lead.
About to kick it off after punching it in for the touchdown. And here comes the Nebraska offense back onto the field. They are trailing by 10 here, Jesse, but this is the type of team that seems comfortable in an offensive shootout.
You got to hold serve at this point, right? You got to drive the field.
Fires into traffic, intercepted. Looking for more room. It's a fumble on the play. And they are fortunate to avoid the turnover as the fumble goes out of bounds.
When you start to get that offense going and start having success, you've got to make sure when you get closer to the scoring range, take care of that football. If you don't, coach is going to go you on the sideline, you in the game.
Headed to the end zone, and he waltzes in for the score. Touchdown, Oregon! How efficient have they been as they extend this lead here in Week 5? That trip to the end zone is 25th career touchdown.
Yeah, he's been productive, just has a nose for the end zone. This dude's made big play after big play for his offenses, and that's 25 touchdowns, Palmer, on the ground for the big fella.
Pretty impressive, too, when you consider when you get close to that end zone, the defense is expecting run, they're loading the box. Still, this guy's been able to find his way in. 25, it's a nice number.
They'll put this one in play first snap of the drive from the 25. Use the play fake, now to throw. Getting some heat. Not much of a chance there. He just had to get rid of it to avoid the sack. After the incompletion, it's 2nd and 10 from their own 25. Couldn't connect on 1st down, now back to the air. They'll run the screen. At the 40, there he goes. He's out of bounds after a really nice game, but there is a marker on the field. That was right on the borderline. You want to make that quarterback feel you, but the official thought it was a little too much. The roughing the passer penalty. Give to the back. And they'll drag him down. That's likely the last play of the 3rd quarter.
No gain on the play.
been treated to an aerial show by these two guys so far as you check out their numbers.
Nebraska, 28.
As we start the fourth quarter, it'll take a pretty sizable comeback to win this one. Now on second down. Keep it on the ground. Got some room, headed to the goal line. And he'll finish the run in the end zone. Touchdown, Cornhusker.
You know, this guy's had a big role in this offense this year, especially when they get down close to the end zone. That's his 5th rushing touchdown on the year. He's been a factor for these guys offensively.
And it's up and good as they draw just a touch closer. We check in with Kevin Connors. What's going on, Kevin?
Guys, let's take a look at what's happening in a great college football matchup. Missouri is getting hammered right now. They are the nail, and that figurative mallet is just pounding them into the ground. What a bad look. They're trailing by 14 to Florida Atlantic. We've got our eye on things here and everything else going on right now, and any updates, you'll see them here, guys.
And how about that one? Kevin will be keeping an eye on everything going on elsewhere. They'll go to the ground. Finds that crease, and he's got 4 out to the 29.
It's a point in the game, I think, as a coaching staff where you really challenge your offensive line to go win the football game, right? We've got to lead late. We're going to run the football. And the defense and everybody in the stadium knows that's what's going to happen. Can we run the ball down their throats and impose our will? That's what this offense right now is trying to do.
After the productive first down play, it's 2nd and 6. They'll leave it with him. Defense there to stop him after a 2-yard gain to the 31.
Man, that D-tackle's a freak athlete. Did you see him come out of his stance and beat the offensive lineman, getting to the running back? Cat-like quickness.
Looking to throw on 3rd. Receiver looks it in. It's complete. He goes out of bounds, but there is a flag on the field. Let's see what this one's about.
Defense.
The officials offer the deal, and the coach accepts it. They will take the penalty. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Trying to find his man on first down. Trying to get to him. It's caught. And that defense doesn't allow a cutback, and they get him out of bounds after a short gain. And now on 2nd down for this offense. The give to the back.
And a great job by the offensive line. You're going to run the ball right up the middle. You better control the line of scrimmage. You can see the center, the guard, the tackles doing a good job getting on their guys just enough where this running back can get into space and make the big game.
The Ducks with the 1st and 10. He's going to pass. That's caught. It's Ward. And another big game for this offense. They are putting explosive pass after explosive pass up in this one. They showed great trust in their quarterback right there, and why not? He's had an outstanding game.
An outstanding game, has taken care of the football. Now late in the game, you got the lead. That first down now tells me now it's time to start running the football, run the clock, get out of here with the dub.
Touchdown, Ducks! And they take it in for 6 more points. That score will give them a little more room to operate here in the fourth quarter as they go for their 6th straight win. This guy's putting the Oregon offense on his shoulders, carrying them however you want, on the ground or through the air.
I mean, so fun to watch when you got a guy that can do this. And we've seen it with the Ducks in history, man. They've had some great ones that put their team on their shoulders. You need me to run it, I'll run it. You need me to throw it, I can do that too.
The Cornhuskers ready to go back to work on offense. Looking for a productive play on first down. They'll start this drive with a pass. All kinds of time to survey the field, and he'll let it go to the left. And they are pushing the ball down the field. A big pickup on that one, and the tackle is finally made. He's looking to throw it. Uncorks one. All kinds of room to throw that one in there. He's run out of bounds, but a big play on that one, and it'll be a first down.
Man, we're seeing the tight end used more and more in the passing game. You see him move inside. You see him move outside. You see him move in the box to block people. So here they put him in the slot and just have a nice little pitch and catch session.
Running to the left. He's dropped behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of 3. The Cornhuskers headed quickly to the line. On second down, he'll fire. They're bringing heat. And the defense, got him at the 27. And we might as well state the obvious. First and second down didn't work out. Third and very long. Looking to throw, and he needs a chunk play. And he is finding wide-open defenders all over the field. His 3rd interception of the day. And he's brought down after the pick, but not before putting his offense in business.
And as a defensive lineman late in the game, man, when you know it's passed, you're pinning your ears back, trying to get to the quarterback, and DBs are trying to do this. Pad them stats, get the INT. Nice job by this D.
Shoots through that hole and picks up 5. He's out to the 11. Halfway there on first down, it's 2nd and 5. They'll keep it on the ground. They want this clock to move. He is tackled, but it'll be a fresh set of downs. He's now over 200 yards, and our stats maven CD reminds us only a couple of guys in Duck history over 5,000 for their careers, while Michael James and Royce Freeman.
Yeah, and those guys had big playability just like him. The ability to take a run, make a big play, throw it to him out of the backfield, catch the football, make somebody miss. Just dynamic playmakers.
That's about as close as you can get to that marker, and it will be 2nd and just a few breaths away from the first down.
These situations are preached so much in college football. Finishing a game strong, understanding circumstances. They are running the football right at you, trying to keep that clock moving, get a few first downs, and get a W.
Wrestled down at the 32 after a pickup of 5.
No mystery on that play. With the lead, we are going to run the ball. You know it's coming, and we are running right at you, right into the teeth of the defense, and they're still able to get a nice game.
Finally run out of bounds, but he has this offense rolling with a first down. A new set of downs after the completion. Comes out throwing on first down. Grabbed in the middle. It's Bennett. They make the stop at the 37, but not before he's got 10 yards and the first down.
This is so interesting right now watching this offense stay aggressive. They've got the lead in the 4th quarter, and you're thinking at home, we got to just run the ball and try to bleed the clock. They found something.
Pressure is effective from the defense. They knock him down just behind the midfield stripe at the 48.
And that's exactly what this defense needed. They needed to have something positive. Giving up some yardage, they've given up some plays, no big deal. Got right back in it on this drive with that big sack.
He's going for the big play. And it's caught inside the 20. Touchdown, Oregon! And the stomping has commenced. With that, they are closing in on bowl eligibility, but with this big lead and a 6-0 start, much bigger dreams for this squad. And he tacks on the extra point. About to kick it away after scoring the touchdown.
Nebraska, 35.
Returner's going to try to see what he can get. And they'll get him on the ground as the offense comes out to start the next drive. Okay, so here comes the offense returning to the field. Not a lot to feel great about in this one, Jesse, but I'm sure they'll try to seek out some positives.
Well, this might be an opportunity, too, Reese, to go back when they watch this game and just find the plays and the schemes that were working. There weren't a lot, obviously, David, but maybe an opportunity for the coaching staff to condense the playbook.
I was going to say, there's not a lot of good to go back to. That'd be a quick film session because there was more negatives than positives. But when you look at this week you've got a week to figure it out, figure out what your offense is going to be moving forward.
On On second down, he's looking downfield. He's got his man. They immediately call timeout, trying to preserve every second they can to try to rally here late. Now on first down from the 30. Looking to move it through the air. It's complete. And an explosive play has him on the move, and he gets it all the way to the 48-yard line. The offense gets a quick timeout at this point. Every second is precious. The Huskers will snap it on 1st and 10. He wants to throw. Fires to the wideout. Can't quite make the connection there. Might have led him a little too much.
And this defense has put a game together. Like, it is hard to put all the facets of defense together. Run defense, pass defense. They've been so good, man. Dialed in, you could tell.
And they got him. He'll get him down for the sack.
The defense puts the exclamation point on the day. They have had a wonderful day, man. Doing everything great. Just, you could tell they were dialed into what was going on. And now just throw another sack in the equation. Hitting the quarterback, being disruptive. They've been all over the field.
The D thinking bring some heat on 3rd and long from the 44. And it is another interception. Just a terrible struggle for this quarterback.
Nice job by this defense. That might be the exclamation point. 4th quarter, I got a lead. You bring on the nickel defense. You know they're passing the football for plays just like that to make the INT and almost put this one away.
He will take a knee, and the defense can stop the clock one more time, but this one is just about in the books. When we get to the offseason and they start having coaching clinics, they're going to roll this game tape back to show both offenses.
Dial it up and let it run. I mean, that's essentially what we saw in this game. It didn't matter what either offensive coordinator was calling. Everything seemed to work through throwing the football in the intermediate passing game, the RPOs, the run game. David, this was just clinical offensive football.
And offenses have evolved so much. They can do so many different things, and they know how to use their playmakers, get speed and space, make those big plays. So that's why offenses are ahead of defenses in this game.